Your future isn't something you chase. It's something that's trapped inside you, waiting to be set free. The moment you understand that, the entire game of manifestation changes. It's not about building something new. It's about unlocking what's already coded in your field. Not with force, but with frequency. Because every version of you that you dream of becoming, wealthy, aligned, at peace, is not external. It's not waiting at the end of some achievement, relationship, or revelation. It's encoded, like a holographic imprint deep within your quantum field. Science calls it potentiality. Spirituality calls it destiny. But in truth, it's simply vibration held hostage by belief. The universe doesn't respond to your effort. It responds to the emotional frequency you embody. You've heard that before. But what you may not have realized is that this frequency isn't built. It's remembered. You don't fabricate your future self. You uncover the signal they already emit, and that signal is already alive in your system, like a radio station playing in the background, only slightly out of tune. Dr. Joe Dispenza speaks often about this, how your body can become biologically aligned to a future before it manifests physically, how neurons and heart rhythms can be entrained to a reality not yet visible, but fully accessible. And that's the key, accessibility. Because your future isn't hidden by time, it's hidden by vibration, and once you learn how to match it, the separation collapses. But here's where it gets intimate. This future version of you, the one who already lives the alignment, the love, the purpose, doesn't arrive through striving. They awaken when you stop living from the wound and start responding from the code, when you stop reacting to your past and start resonating with your encoded becoming. That's what we'll begin to do together, not as philosophy, but as frequency. Because once you grasp that you are not trying to become something, but allowing something within to emerge, the entire geometry of your life rearranges. You stop playing the game of effort and begin living the art of signal. In the next few minutes, we'll go deeper into how this inner quantum blueprint is structured, not as fantasy, but as physics, and how the field begins to respond the moment you remember the signal it's been waiting to hear from you. There's a code within you that's older than your name. It existed before your current circumstances, before your fears were learned, before your beliefs were inherited. It's not abstract. It's a vibrational pattern, a blueprint of the most aligned version of your reality, already pulsing within your quantum field, waiting for one thing: resonance. You don't become that version. You allow it to take the front seat in your being. Most people walk through life assuming their future lies somewhere ahead. But quantum reality doesn't function on distance. It responds to frequency. Your future is not something you're moving toward. It's a version of reality already encoded inside your field, already existing in superposition. And the key to accessing it is not force, but tuning. When a radio is just slightly off frequency, the sound is fuzzy, distorted. That's how most people live, with an inner knowing of who they could be, distorted by the static of unprocessed emotions, inherited limitations, and stories that no longer serve. They try to force clarity, to chase breakthrough, but they don't need to do more. They need to attune. That inner distortion isn't failure. It's a sign that you're just one resonance away from the clarity you've always sensed. Your inner quantum blueprint is not fantasy. It's the original signal beneath your adaptations. It's the you that existed before your environment taught you to dim it down. And this blueprint doesn't just shape your psychology, it shapes the entire electromagnetic signal you emit. That signal is what the field responds to, not your thoughts alone, but your felt state, your coherence. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains that your body is a magnet, your heart the conductor, and your brain the tuner. When you bring these three into coherence, thought, feeling, and physiology, you begin to embody the blueprint of your future self, not as a concept, but as a biological broadcast. Your heart begins to beat in rhythm with the reality you want, and suddenly, life starts rearranging itself around your new signal. But that alignment is subtle. It's not found in overthinking. It's accessed in states of emotional safety, inner quiet, and honest presence. That's why breakthroughs often come not in action, but in stillness. In the breath between efforts, when you finally stop trying to improve and instead start remembering who you were before the forgetting. Quantum mechanics supports this. In the field of infinite possibilities, the moment you observe with coherence, the wave collapses into form. But that observation is not intellectual, it's emotional. You must feel your future real in your body before it ever becomes visible, because reality doesn't form from what you say you want. It forms from what your energy claims is already done. So ask yourself, have you truly allowed the version of you who already lives that future to take up space inside you? Or are you still trying to earn what you already carry? The truth is, this blueprint is not unlocked through pressure. It's revealed through permission. When you drop the need to change yourself and start aligning with the version of you who's already whole, that's when the field begins to respond. Not by giving you signs, but by giving you mirrors. In the next few minutes, we'll explore why that blueprint gets buried, how the wiring of your past can override your signal, and how to reclaim your resonance so you can stop looping in what was, and finally live from what already is. Inside your being, there is a pattern repeating, one you didn't consciously choose but inherited. A frequency wired by past conditioning, trauma, belief, and cultural echoes. It's not visible on your skin, but it permeates your nervous system, your rhythms of thought, and your emotional reflexes. And when that wiring is stronger than the signal of your quantum blueprint, your future remains trapped. This is the energetic reality most spiritual seekers never address. You are not only creating from what you intend, but from what you've memorized. Your subconscious is an archivist. It plays emotional programs like loops, responding to old data as though they're happening now. Desire becomes an overlay, but your deepest identity replays itself unless you intervene on the frequency, not just the content. Picture someone who grew up in scarcity. Every small success triggers a hidden alarm. This feels unsafe. Even when they visualize abundance clearly, their body responds with contraction. That contraction sends a signal. Don't arrive. The field doesn't respond to your yearning. It responds to the dominant emotion. And if that dominant emotion is fear embedded in your neural blueprint, your desires bounce off it like thrown pebbles off a stone wall. This isn't metaphoric. Neuroscience shows that emotional patterns stored in the limbic brain create automatic responses. If your ancestors carried stories of limitation, your DNA is likely primed to replay them. Affirmations alone can't overwrite those programs. That's why manifestation techniques often fail. They target the surface while the root remains unchanged. But here's the transformative insight. The blueprint exists beyond that hard wiring. You can do deeper work, not by battling your patterns, but by feeling what it would be like to exist beyond them, so deeply that the old wiring fades into the background. Sane spiritual teachers have hinted at this. They speak of awakening as unlearning, not adding new beliefs, but peeling away the ones you don't actually belong to. When you release the alignment to those presets, your nervous system reconfigures. Your field senses the new interior tone and begins responding to you, not to your history. Quantum physics calls this decoherence, a shift from one energy pattern to another based on subtle differences in vibration. You're not launching a new reality, you're collapsing into the one with more resonance, but less interference. Emotionally, this feels like sinking. Relief enters where tension used to be. The world slows and aligns. To the untrained eye, nothing external changes. But inside, you're vibrating differently. That new signal begins attracting circumstances, people, ideas, and opening channels that were invisible before. To free your future, you don't have to rewrite your story. You have to rewrite your emotional signature. You go beyond mind control. You don't just affirm, you embody. You don't just acknowledge the blueprint, you minister to your field with your presence. When you step into that frequency, the past doesn't vanish, it just no longer broadcasts. And when that old broadcast fades, the signal you've been carrying and waiting can finally be heard and reflected. Take a breath. Feel that possibility loosening inside you. New realities don't arrive at the end point of struggle. They emerge when your emotional system adjusts to reverse the old story. There comes a moment when whispering intentions in your mind no longer creates shift because the shift you seek has to be remembered, not invented. It's in that moment the real work begins. Not changing yourself, but waking up to who your soul already is. And this awakening doesn't happen through willpower. It happens through quiet ceremony, a ritual of resonance, activation, and surrender. You've tried creating new habits, scripting your future, affirming your worth, but your frequency, you at your most authentic core, has not been invited in. It's like wearing someone else's shoes and wondering why your walk feels awkward. The inner activation ritual is about slipping into your blueprint, not building it, just stepping into your true frequency. Let's do this right now. Close your eyes softly and take a breath deeper than the ones you've been breathing today. Feel it connect you, from your belly, up through your chest, into your mind. Let that breath be a ceremony of arrival. You're not starting something, you're returning. Let your nervous system settle into that returning. Now bring forth the image, not of what you want, but of who you already are at peace, abundance, connection, clarity. Don't chase it with thought. Invite it through feeling. Imagine stepping into that state, not in the future, but here. Let your body begin to remember its resonance. Maybe it comes as warmth in your chest, a soft release in your jaw, a calm steadiness in your breath. That is your blueprint humming in the room. Sense it as your birthright. Relax into it with no attempt to prove. This isn't mental, it's vibrational memory. The fact that your system relaxes there means the field is listening. That is the frequency it reads as home. Hold that feeling. Not forever. Just long enough for your being to say, yes, this is me. Then gently affirm, I align with my inner quantum code. Not because you hope it's true, because you feel it is real for you now. Let that affirmation not articulate a wish. Let it be a mirror, clear, open, authentic. Now take another breath and let the signal settle. You don't have to energize it with effort. Just breathe and allow. You've activated it not with will, but with resonance. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Carry that feeling into the next seconds of your day. Let it be your background hum as you move. This is not another tool. It's not another idea to grasp. It's the moment you invite your future to exist inside your body, not as a projection, but as a living frequency. The field doesn't need more energy from you. It needs you in resonance. Here's something simple and powerful. Comment below. I align with my inner quantum code. Let that sentence be your frequency signature. Calm, unwavering, aligned. If you carry that energy, quietly, consistently, you shift timelines without strain. You don't force breakthroughs, you meet them with coherence. Now, in a moment of quiet reflection, ask yourself, what if the future you've been chasing is simply waiting for you? To remember how to feel its arrival? There's a moment when life stops echoing your old patterns and starts echoing the resonance of who you're allowing yourself to become. It's not a result of pushing harder or manifesting more. It's the consequence of vibrating differently. When your internal blueprint settles into coherence, the field responds not with miracles but with synchronicity, the natural alignment of external reality to your refined tone. The quantum field doesn't discriminate based on intention alone. Its prime directive is coherence. Remember how in physics particles don't change until they're observed, and the observer's state matters? In your life, your observation is less about seeing and more about being, the full presence of your energy. When your internal frequency aligns with your blueprint, the field doesn't just respond. It resonates. It restructures. It doesn't produce contrived results. It reflects you, exactly as you are, here. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls this the balance between intention and surrender, the fusion of clarity with trust. He says that when your brain, heart, and thought merge into coherence, the field begins to reorder in alignment with that internal resonance. Your energy becomes magnetic, not complicated, forceful, or dramatic, but elegantly inevitable. Imagine walking between two musical instruments. One is dissonant, screaming control and desperation. The other hums with quiet confidence, patience, and trust. Without knowing it, you begin tuning yourself to the one that resonates. The field is like that, sensitive to the harmonic richness of your presence, not the drama in your pursuit. This is why life shifts when you just show up. Not because you fight for what's next, but because you embody enough to allow what's next to embody you. Suddenly, conversations realign. Dead ends open into doors. Supports appear not because you force them, but because your frequency unlocked the pathway. It's not complexity, it's clarity in motion. In quantum resonance theory, when an atom vibrates at its natural frequency, it attracts energy around that frequency. The same way, when you hold your internal blueprint with clarity and feeling, you become an oscillator in the field. The field doesn't withhold, it amplifies what's vibrationally coherent. What begins to unfold isn't random luck. It's the field reorganizing through gravitational pull of your energy. Opportunities converge, coincidences become fingerprints of alignment, timing shifts from panic to synchronicity. You don't force the timeline finds you, not because you did something perfect, but because you tuned into the version of you who already exists inside. This is deeper than manifestation. It's embodiment. You don't have to wait for the future to believe yourself. You just hold your frequency long enough and reality begins composing itself around the melody of your alignment. Now, let your awareness land here. In your body, in your heart, in your breath. There, your blueprint awaits. There, the field is listening. And when your energy sings the true you, every element, inside and out, dances to that song. What if the person you've been waiting for, the confident, aligned, fulfilled version, has already been whispering inside your bones, waiting for your permission to be heard? The moment of shift arrives not when you change your world, but when you wake up as that self, not in structure or speech, but in resonance. The future you is not another life to earn, it's a frequency to awaken. You may have spent years struggling to become someone more, but transformation doesn't come by layering more effort. It comes from peeling away the noise until your frequency sings your truth. Wake up as that truth now. You've traveled through the terrain of resistance, surrendered control, aligned with your blueprint, and watched the field respond. All of that prepares you to not chase your future, but to inhabit it. Just for a moment, feel what that version of you feels. Walk through your day as they would. Make decisions from that place, even if the external circumstances don't yet reflect it. Let your body learn it by feeling it. This is not pretending, it's recalibration. Your system is being rewired. The cosmic feedback capturing your frequency doesn't care if the mirror outside hasn't adjusted. Your nervous system does. And once it does, the mirror catches up. Rumi said it beautifully. Why do you stay in prison when the door is wide open? That liberation isn't external. It's the inner realization that the prison cell, the scarcity, the doubt, the lack, was never real. It was a story you abandoned the moment you aligned with your own resonance. So start today by claiming this truth. What if I already embody the life I sought? Let that statement rest in your bones. Let it dissolve timelines. Let it shift your posture from becoming to being, from I need to fix this to I am whole here. The field responds to presence, not performance. You don't need another awakening technique. You need to live from the frequency you have already established. Step into that waveform and watch the universe reframe itself around your signal. This isn't evolution, it's emergence. And if you're ready to nourish this emergence daily, to keep this frequency accessible, aligned, and alive, you can deepen it with the ebook I created, Awaken Your Quantum Power. It is available through the link in the pinned comment. Let it be a friend and reminder, not to become more, but to stay present with who you are becoming. Your future isn't a place you'll arrive at someday. It's who you already are, waiting behind the sheer courage of release and coherence.